This program is brought to you by the Genesis Communications Network, a world leader in talk radio since 1998. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Broadcasting and streaming live all across America. This is HomeTalkUSA with Michael King, where we will discuss topics pertaining to your home with industry-leading experts. Michael King is a licensed general contractor with more than 30 years of experience in home improvements and the author of Contracting with the King. Join us this hour for our segment Invent America with your co-host, the Inventor Lady Rita Crompton. Discover what's next in the home improvement industry and explore new products and innovations. Or if you have that next great big idea, learn what it takes to bring your invention to the world as Michael King and Rita Crompton talk to America's inventors and innovators. Remember, the America of tomorrow is being invented today. We invite you to visit us at HomeTalkUSA.com. One of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like Home Talk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com. And now, we proudly present Invent America from the #1 home improvement radio program in the country, Home Talk USA, with your host, the Cajun contractor, Michael King, and his co-host, the Inventor Lady, Rita Crompton.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for being with us today. We are bringing you Invent America while our fearless leader is out talking to a lot of other people at the National Hardware Show, and I am sure that some of those will turn out to be inventors that will want to get on this show. And we're talking about new innovation, obviously, because we do Invent America and America Invents. But today there's one that's in particular that we were kind of bombarded with when we were out there, and I'm sure that you will be as well, Michael. It was called e-commerce.
All right, that's right. I'm here at the National Hardware Show in Las Vegas. It's going to be opening up tomorrow, and I got some great interviews planned for next week. Got a lot of taping, and I definitely want to thank all of you for listening to last week's show at the International Building Show. And then last week, the Inventor Lady herself was at the ASD Market Week. So, Rita, we've been on the like Willie Nelson on the road, but yes, there's a lot going on here, and but we definitely need to talk about a subject matter that's we've been getting a lot of requests on. You have too, is that basically selling online, Rita, and what my audience really needs to know in your experience and what you're gathering from your inventors and how can we help them?
Well, you know, things are always changing. That's one of the things that we certainly do learn in Invent America is how products and technology changes. And, 20 years ago, who would have thought, we would have been buying everything online as opposed to, that one place where most of us do go online. But, it keeps changing as well. So now we've got some new options, whereas, one becomes a little more obsolete or predatory might be a better way of looking at it. There becomes a new option because somebody says, oh, let's do it. Let's do a new way and a better way. So that's one of the things that we've been paying attention to. And I had met Amy Weiss. She's one of our guests today. She was learning and starting to take lessons and teach inventors how to take advantage of TikTok Shop, which is the new competition to kind of that old predatory one out there. And the interesting thing is that there was a class being taught at ASD Market Week, and it had 250 people attending the class on e-commerce. And so they started coming around to the booth. They wanted to sell us their services. They had just learned the services 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, you're right.
So it was like, okay, take a deep breath, everybody. Don't sign up with anybody just yet. Let's figure this out. And, so we've been learning as we go. We want to be able to take advantage of the opportunities that are out there. But for so many inventors who couldn't get into a store, they now can go live online and with some video essentially sell their product all across the world.
Yeah, hardware store. That's right. But Rita, and we're going to have the experts on. We're going to dig into this new phase or this new way to market, because we want to make sure that we protect our inventors, make sure that they understand the rules, the commerce rules, just before they make that commitment. So we're going to go out there and find the experts, and so we can give them that information, right?
Absolutely. We've got what I consider two experts on today. One is Amy, who is learning, and she is selling her own products on TikTok Shop and is teaching other inventors how to use that new technology. And then Kevin Cody, who actually then will bring on products. He wants to bring on a couple of the products that we had at the show. And he's on the Home Depot e-commerce and the Lowe's e-commerce. So he's got access now to something that even inventors have a hard time getting, because they've got to have a certain bandwidth, a certain volume to get on some of those bigger ones. So Kevin's going to talk to us about what he brings to inventors on getting their products out there. So big news. It really is big news for our inventors to learn how to take advantage of that. Where they used to be limited by getting into a box store, they're no longer limited, except by their imagination.
No, that's right. And, when you get into a box store, I remember people used to always be happy and, wow, it's going to change my life. But what they don't understand, you're just in a computer system, and you with maybe 3-4 million products in the system. And unless somebody goes ask for that product or order that product, it's not going to do you any good. They got to know you're in the system. And so now you figured out a way how to develop your own system where you're not going to be competing with 3 million products, right?
Well, it's so funny because inventors have the idea, it's like, well, if you build it, they will come. If you put it out there, they will come. No, you've got to let them know you're there. And so you're exactly right. You can get lost in a Home Depot or in a Lowe's, and unless somebody knows to go looking for you, and what do? They go to the Home Depot site or the the Lowe's site, or to an Amazon site, and they search for the types of products that they want. And when they find you, they buy you.
I'm going to get off track to here just for a second, and that I do that from time to time. But what amazes me is that, the last couple of years, things have been slow. The economy's been slow. The manufacturing's been slow. Hell, we're in a recession. Let's just face it, whatever it is. Nobody wants to admit it. But it's amazing that the marketing, you want to market when things are bad. You don't want to market when things are good. And why do people first thing they want to cut is marketing when things are bad? You understand what I'm getting? It should be opposite. I do. Am I wrong? I mean,
no. You're
had to make that statement.
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Because
if you're still marketing and you're still there, people still need you. Nobody put pandemic in their 2020 business plan, for goodness sakes.
Right.
But it happened, and we're surviving, and e-commerce became a big animal during the pandemic because nobody wanted to go out. And so a lot of the products, even though the intensity of the products changed, it shifted a little bit, the do-it-yourselfers became now a big issue for products, as opposed to having, a contractor come in that you couldn't afford. You learned how to do it yourself. And so a lot of those inventions that helped the do-it-yourselfer, they went live, whether there was a pandemic or a recession or not. People still need stuff. And, now the staycation folks, they were staying at home and fixing up their yard and their swimming pool and, their barbecue and stuff. So, anything that had to do, with a small product that you could do it yourself, big business. And people who were advertising were the ones that got out there in spite of the pandemic.
All right, Rita, we got to take a break, so take us home, Rita.
Okie dokie. Everybody, the music is playing. We are going to run off and pay a few bills, but we're going to be back with Jenny Salimi. She was with us at ASD Market Week, but she's getting ready to take that first step into what kind of e-commerce should she be doing. So stick with us as we bring on one of our prize inventors and then a couple of industry experts to help us understand what the challenges really are. So stay right there. We'll be right back, everybody.
Home Talk USA with Michael King. Do you have questions about your next home improvement project or home repairs? Now you can chat with verified home repair and home improvement experts in just minutes. Get the help you need by visiting HomeTalkUSA.com. One of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like Home Talk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com. And now, back to Invent America from the #1 home improvement radio program in the country. Home Talk USA with your host, the Cajun contractor Michael King, and his co-host, the Inventor Lady, Rita Crompton.
Thanks so much for sticking with us, everybody, as we kind of delve into that idea of e-commerce and how it impacts all of us. Michael, I want to wish you the best of luck out there at the National Hardware Show.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, I have to sign off. They're calling me to come in, and I know the show's in good hand, Rita, and I'm going to be back behind Master Control on Monday. So, and then also we're going to be playing some of these interviews from the National Hardware Show. All right.
Excellent, sir.
Thank you all. I've got to run.
All righty. Right now, my guest with us is Jenny Salimi. She was with me at the ASD Market Week, and she's had her first wholesale sale. Congratulations, girl, on that one. That was awesome.
Oh, thank you. Yes, exciting.
Yes, it was. So tell everybody about the Brazzle.
Yes, so it is a fashion accessory, more specifically a bra strap aligner that aligns your thin-strapped garment with your thin-strapped bra. And I know you fellas are going to be like, what? You don't want your bra to be showing? No, you don't. So basically, I invented it for myself. It was an issue that I was always having because I needed the support of a bra, but I like to wear those fun summer dresses and tank tops, but I didn't want to look tacky, so the Brazzle was born.
Well, and it's so easy to use, and it looks so cute. It really does.
Oh,
and, you know, there are certain things that you can do via e-commerce that are easy. All right. You can buy this. It's easy to use. I never really figured out how to try on shoes online. So that one, it gives me a little bit of a run for my money. But certainly, the opportunity now for you to sell on, some different platforms. What are you looking at? What is the challenge you're facing?
So, I don't know that I have challenges quite yet, but it's just a matter of me staying in tune of what the trends are. So TikTok Shop is my #1 priority to figure out how the heck to maneuver through it and how to get going. So I have some ideas. I've hired some UGC creators who sent me the videos, and I'm going to be bold and daring and start making videos on my own too. But things like TikTok Shop, Instagram, Poshmark, Pinterest, things like those kind of platforms are what I'm going to sell on. Now, Amazon, that's a whole different beast. I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet because I either might open it up to other sellers to try selling. I don't. It's not high on my priority list right now. Not to say that it wouldn't be, but yeah, I'm open.
Well, it's I think what a lot of inventors don't realize is that, retail is retail, whether you're doing it online or you're doing it in a bricks and mortar store. So Amazon is the retailer, and the fees then that get charged are just outrageous. I mean, it's become predatory for the inventor, for the seller on Amazon. Because you can be eaten alive by the fees, but you can be eaten alive by the fees if you're selling in Walmart.
Well, definitely true. And so it's just, you kind of have to figure out what direction do you want to take it. I know in order to grow a brand of a product that's so new, you need to create some buzz, get some traction online, I think is the fastest way. But then, do you want to sell to those big box retailers or do you want to market? There's gazillions of smaller boutiques and smaller retailers, too, where you could probably, have a little bit stronger of a business deal together. So, yeah, I'm excited to learn. But, yeah, I would definitely agree with you. I don't want to be eaten alive quite yet.
For sure. And it's, like you were saying, there's a lot of options. I think the most important thing that you can do for yourself is creating then the buzz around the videos that you do, the social media, the testimonials that you get on the product, how they link those then to their sites. Because it doesn't matter where you put it. If people don't know you are there to go look for you, they're not going to find you and buy you.
Exactly. Yep. So I think social media is going to be my best friend here for the first part of it.
Yeah, it's not unusual. I mean, when you go to a show like ASD Market Week and, you had your first wholesale sale, so you've got somebody else out there selling. Well, the more products that you get out there and somebody goes, oh, that's really cute, where'd you get that? Certainly helps people to go in and start getting to your website.
Mm-hmm, exactly. So what's been kind of fun, too, is even though I'm in Colorado and it's been snowy, but I have approached some women when it's on the warmer days that do have their bra strap showing a little bit with their thin strap, and I'll walk up to them and say, hey, if I gave you this product, would you mind writing a testimonial or posting about it? So it's kind of a little bit of face-to-face, too, which has been fun to see people's reactions. So far, it's all been great feedback, so that's promising.
That's good. And that's one way of doing it, too, is, when you say, test this product for me and then give me your feedback. Write a testimonial for me and give me the feedback. Because people love to, give impressions. They love to share. They love to be needed. And, who doesn't want to be able to say, oh, yeah, this is a really cool new product. One of the things that we talk about on Invent America. So, all right, everybody. Now, Jenny just gave you an opening to go in and give some feedback. So if you go to Invent-America and you go down to the products listed, you could actually go in and find the video on the Brazzle. And you could give some testimonials on how cool you think that product is. And gentlemen, if you are looking for some kind of Easter product to give to your wife or something for spring, I am sure that she would love to have the Brazzle. And that way then you can go on and have her give some testimonials for Jenny, because Invent America is not just about the inventors, it's about the consumers who support all of us. And give us the feedback, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And we all need feedback. So your next steps, Jenny, all right, is getting the product out there, getting some feedback, building your volume. So how do you fill those orders then?
Well, fortunately, I've partnered with an excellent shipping fulfillment center who has taken, and I've also partnered with a great social media company who's also taking over the back end of my website, but everything is going to be seamless. So any orders that happen online is going to go straight to the warehouse. They're going to fulfill. They're going to not have me packaging things and shipping things from my basement. So it's going to be smooth. I'm ready.
That's great. That's great. And she got both of those names of people from the Inventor Lady herself, because I've used both of these gentlemen and enjoy both of them very, very much. So if you need a service provider, give me a call. Shoot me an email. Get online. Post to be on the show. We are easy to find, and I am easy to get a hold of. They will etch that phone number on the side of my casket because I'm taking it with us. Stick with us, everybody. We will be back with Amy Weiss, and she's going to talk to us a little bit more about the details of TikTok Shop and how to use that. Jenny, thanks so much for being with us, and stay in touch. Let us know how it's going.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Home Talk USA with Michael King. Do you have questions about your next home improvement project or home repairs? Now you can chat with verified home repair and home improvement experts in just minutes. Get the help you need by visiting HomeTalkUSA.com. One of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like Home Talk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com. And now, back to Invent America from the #1 home improvement radio program in the country. Home Talk USA with your host, the Cajun contractor Michael King, and his co-host, the Inventor Lady, Rita Crompton.
Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for being with us this afternoon. We are glad to have you and to talk about how e-commerce has changed our lives and certainly made it easier for an inventor to start getting some awareness of their product. My next guest is Amy Weiss. She is more than just an inventor. She invented SiftEase, and I'm going to have her tell us a little bit about that. But she is the leader of the Alamo Inventors Group, and that is how I met Amy. But she also helps mentor and consult inventors that want to be able to use some of these e-commerce tools. Amy, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me, Rita.
So tell our listeners a little bit about SiftEase and how you invented it, what it is.
Sure. It's actually called SiftEase.
SiftEase, sorry about that. I think of always shifting the cat litter. So
Sifting the cat litter, that's right. So, I have grown up with cats. I've always been kind of a cat person, and cleaning the litter box is, as we all know, everyone's favorite chore. And unfortunately, I had tried a lot of different litter boxes, and I'd been scooping the litter box every day, but unfortunately, the litter box still really had bad odor. So I, unfortunately, have chronic severe migraines, and they're triggered by odors. And I didn't want to have to get rid of my precious cats, my pets, my family's pets. And so I just really was motivated to invent a better solution to cleaning the litter box. And so for months, I worked on many different prototypes, and I kind of sketched a lot of different types of litter boxes. And I realized at the end of each of those sketches that I was basically just recreating something, some version of something that I had already tried that didn't work. So one morning I woke up at like 2 a.m. with an aha moment, and I realized that the problem was the litter box. If I could just create a separate device that was very easy for you to just pick up the litter box and pour it in, then maybe I would be onto something. So I went to Home Depot as soon as it opened, and I built my first prototype of SiftEase, and it worked incredibly well. All you had to do is pick up the litter box, dump it into this giant kind of scoop, and then there's a holding bin underneath where the clean litter goes. So all the nasty stuff stays on the top. All the clean litter goes through to the bottom. So I was using my prototype for a little while, and all of a sudden I realized that I didn't smell the litter boxes anymore. I was only cleaning them every other day. I could clean 2 or 3 litter boxes at once in under 60 seconds using my method. And all of a sudden I didn't smell them at all anymore. And wow. I thought, what is this? Like, what have I done to eliminate the odor? And I realized that those little clumps in the litter box are the stinkiest things on earth. And what happens when you scoop is you break them apart, and then you contaminate all the clean litter. And that's why people are constantly buying more litter. So we prototyped it. We turned it into a real product on the market. We got our molds made. And in 2018, we launched SiftEase, and we've been selling it ever since. We've sold over $1 million in product on Amazon and other online marketplaces.
Well, congratulations. And the website, I love the name of the website, cleanlitterclub.com. That's pretty easy to find. And so help our inventors and our listeners understand e-commerce and, what you do to help inventors get a handle on e-commerce.
So what's great about e-commerce channels like Amazon, Walmart.com, channels like that is that there are very low barriers to entry. So, when you're trying to bring your product to market to a large, big box retail chain like a Costco or Target or Walmart, right? It's very difficult. You've got to go to a lot of trade shows. You got to talk to the buyers. You really have to have a product that's ready to go, that is retail ready, that, it's tough. It's tough for inventors. But if you're an inventor and you have your first version of a product ready to go, you can launch that product in e-commerce on Shopify, your own website, on Amazon.com, which consumers see marketplaces like Amazon.com, just like they see a large brick and mortar store. So they kind of give your brand that same chance, right? And you have the opportunity to reach a huge audience of shoppers that are already there. Over 86% of America are Prime members, Amazon Prime members. So it's a huge opportunity. And so you can very easily launch your product. All you need is a barcode. You don't even have to have a registered brand. You can launch it without having a registered trademark, but it's helpful to protect your brand to have a registered trademark. But you can essentially launch it as long as you have like packaging, labeling, and a barcode. You can launch your product on websites like Amazon and get major market attention and grow your sales super, super quickly.
So the new player on the block is TikTok Shop.
Yes.
How does that compare to Amazon?
So TikTok Shop is what we call video commerce. And video commerce has grown quite a lot. I think they were at 13 billion in sales in 2023. And so we see video commerce kind of across the internet. We see sometimes Facebook Live shopping. We see like QVC, for example. We see Instagram live shopping. But TikTok has brought this to a whole another level with their TikTok Shop platform, where essentially you can have your own e-commerce store on TikTok, and you can then show up in TikTok search with your product. And TikTok has also built a really innovative creator platform where you can reach out to other creators, other content creators who are already on TikTok, and you can offer them commission to essentially make a video of your product and help you sell it. So you don't even need to have a huge following to sell your products on TikTok Shop. You can launch them there and then reach out to creators, and TikTok will do the work of actually tracking to make sure that creator got their sample, that they created the video of your product and tagged your product in it. They will get a commission and you will make more sales. And when I did this, I started my first month on TikTok Shop, and I only did about $1,000 in revenue on TikTok Shop for my first month. However, I had my biggest month of sales ever in the history of my brand on Amazon.
Oh, cool.
So the overflow that happens is really great.
Excellent. Well, we're going to post your information online, so if someone wants to hire you as a consultant, they can. I hear the music playing. It means we've got to go pay some bills. Thank you so much, Amy, for joining us, and we will be right back with Kevin Cody.
Welcome back to Home Talk USA with Michael King. Do you have questions about your next home improvement project or home repairs? Now you can chat with verified home repair and home improvement experts in just minutes. Get the help you need by visiting HomeTalkUSA.com, one of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like Home Talk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com. And now, back to Invent America from the #1 home improvement radio program in the country, Home Talk USA, with your host, the Cajun contractor Michael King, and his co-host, the Inventor Lady, Rita Crompton.
Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for being with us as we go through this transition from bricks and mortar stores into the e-commerce world, which has affected all of us, especially since the pandemic. And my next guest, our industry expert today, is Kevin Cody. Kevin, FLI Products does a lot online, right?
Yes, we do. We sell to a variety of retailers with storefronts, brick and mortar storefronts that are omni-channel retailers. And then we sell a significant number of just pure e-com retailers as well.
So, having some of your products at the ASD Market Week was fun because I got to see more of what you do. But the e-commerce has changed drastically in the last 5 years, right?
Yes, it has. And I think one of the things that is really, incumbent on anybody that's going to get into that channel is to recognize, number one, that it is just a channel. It is an avenue to sell your product, and it is, in some cases, a first step, but oftentimes all the time, it is a part of a strategy. And so knowing how much time and effort you want to spend on one customer versus the other is really important. And then know your metrics. Brick and mortar metrics are certainly different than e-com metrics, and those that have both have their own set of metrics as well. And so knowing how you're going to do it, where you're going to place the product, how you need to communicate your message, and then, of course, the visuals and videos and everything else are different than being in a store. And so you got to be prepared with that.
Well, you're right on that. It's very different than being in a store because not everything can be in a store. There's not a store big enough to put everything in it. So that means somebody's picking and choosing what gets to be in a store. And some products have geographical appeal. Something that's selling, in the north in the wintertime isn't going to have the same appeal as in the same store in the south where it's warmer. They don't do snow shovels very well in Florida.
Yeah. And oftentimes in the retail stores, brick and mortar stores, they're obviously looking at inventory turns and sometimes don't have what I call project completers, other items that are going to go along with the sale that oftentimes are overlooked or for whatever reason not carried. And you need all of it to finish your project.
Well, and it's funny because I always look at a lot of holiday stuff for different holidays, not just the Christmas holidays, but, summer holidays. But I look off-season for that kind of stuff. And I would imagine if I do it, I'm not the only one who does it. But you can go into, an e-commerce site and, they still have the Christmas stuff out.
Right.
In January, you can still buy bird feeders.
Yep, you can get it all year long. And for all the variations that different markets have, geographies have, as you said earlier. Florida is going to have product along before Chicago. Depending on what you're doing, but some people like to get prepared. And so you can get it out of other markets in time for you to be prepared yourself.
Well, you said something interesting to Mahbub. He's one of the gentlemen that had a tool that you were interested in. And one of the things that really got his attention that you were talking about was the fact that you are on the e-commerce sites for Home Depot and Lowe's. And that really piqued his interest because he's wanted to get there. He can't on his own, but you can get him there.
Yeah, we actually come alongside a variety of companies across several different categories as a company that could have a vendor number for those retailers and combine all of the products. And from a retailer standpoint, it's an advantage because oftentimes a particular merchant in a category may not want to set up a product for a single SKU or even a small number of SKUs. They want to do several. And so being able to have our own vendor number and have a broad enough assortment of product that appeals to different buyers and marketplaces as well as categories is important.
Yeah, for sure. So what quick advice do you have for our listeners?
As I said earlier, study the channel and make sure that you understand the metrics. A lot of people walk into Amazon, for instance, and think that everybody is just selling. But there are so many ways to fail that if you don't pay particular attention to the metrics and who your competitors are, it may be very difficult to gain the recognition that you need. But certainly one of the things that an awful lot of people look at are reviews, and you got to work on those reviews and make sure they're great.
Yep. Thank you, Kevin, so much for your insight on e-commerce. Thanks, everybody, for being with us. Hang in there. We will be right back after we go and take care of some of that, paying bill stuff.
To Home Talk USA with Michael King. Do you have questions about your next home improvement project or home repairs? Now you can chat with verified home repair and home improvement experts in just minutes. Get the help you need by visiting HomeTalkUSA.com. One of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like Home Talk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com. And now, back to Invent America from the #1 home improvement radio program in the country. Home Talk USA with your host, the Cajun contractor Michael King, and his co-host, the Inventor Lady, Rita Crompton.
Thanks, everybody. We are Home Talk USA and Invent America because America invents. And as our listeners, you support American invention by going out and looking for those new innovative products and the ones that we talk about online. So if you want to see what those are, go to our website, Invent-America. Click on products, and you'll be able to see the ones that we had at ASD Market Week. Next week, tune in because we are going to announce the winners of our very first, but not last, Innovation Awards that were voted on when we were at ASD Market Week. And a lot of you got to cast votes as well. So voting is closed, but we will announce the winners. So come back and join us next week. And in the meantime, America, get out there and do some shopping. E-commerce is very cool, and it gives you a lot of options that our poor inventors wouldn't get if it was up to just bricks and mortar. So go take a look for them. We appreciate it here at invent-america.com. Have a great week.
Home Talk USA with Michael King is produced by Home Talk Media in association with King's Broadcasting Network and Genesis Communications Network. Broadcast and streamed live from the great state of Louisiana. Host and producer, the Cajun contractor, Michael King. Executive producer, Michael Mellinson. Affiliate and sponsor relations, Joe Spera. Comptroller, Sheila Gregoire. Assistant producer, Christian Bethencourt. Board operators provided by Genesis Communications Network. And I'm your announcer, Kevin McCarthy. Music includes King's Creole by Prolific Arts, Cajun Jam by StockMusic.com, and Zydeco City by Steve Rice. Home Talk USA with Michael King is sponsored by Bonai, pest solutions for your home, garden, and lawn. Decorators, take outdoor living beyond ordinary. Aztec Washer, innovative roofing solutions. Seal it right, seal it tight. Trimislab, replace rotten or missing wood with Trimislab expansion joint repair. Masonry Cosmetics, change the color of any porous masonry with proven masonry staining. Green Products Company, #1 in wood preservatives. Preserve, protect, and clean what you value, and most of all, make it last. Bond Products, manufacturers of InstaBind, the world's first do-it-yourself carpet binding solution. Deck Right, life is tough. Make your exterior flooring tougher. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Home Talk USA with Michael King. Until next time, visit us at HomeTalkUSA.com. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like Home Talk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com.
Yay!